7 jurors selected yesterday. For more on this, let's welcome in Professor Emeritus at Harvard Law School, Alan Dershowitz. Good morning to you, Professor.
Good morning. First, I wanted to comment briefly about the impeachment. The Democrats are 100% correct in dismissing all the articles of impeachment that don't allege treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors. Remember, these same Republicans supported my argument when I argued for Trump in front of the Senate, saying he wasn't charged with impeachable offenses. Neither is Mayorkas. They can preserve the perjury charge. But these charges that he failed to obey the law, that he failed to administer the law, they're not constitutionally permissible. And the Democrats are 100% right in dismissing every one of the charges that doesn't fit the constitutional criteria for impeachment. And the Republicans shouldn't be allowed to play politics with this by taking one position when Trump was impeached and an inconsistent position when Mayorkas is impeached.
Okay, but you do still agree that they should move forward with the trial on some of the charges today. Is that accurate?
If there are any charges that constitute high crimes and misdemeanors, fine, go forward with them. But strike all the charges that don't allege high crimes and misdemeanors. You can't just make up impeachable offenses. It's in the Constitution. Treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors. That doesn't include failing to apply the law. It doesn't include maladministration. All of those were rejected by the framers of the Constitution back in the 18th century.
All right, I want to pivot back to Trump in court yesterday. So as we know, 7 jurors selected. We're learning a few details about those 7, and we know now 2 of them are lawyers. What do you make of that?
Look, if I were Trump's lawyer, I would not be happy with the 7 jurors. It sounds to me too many of them read newspapers and watch television stations that are completely biased against Trump. I don't know what his lawyers are thinking. Obviously, if the trial's in New York, you're going to get a jury pool that's highly prejudiced against Trump, and they only have 10 peremptory challenges. So obviously they're making judgment calls. But if I were a Trump lawyer, I would not be thrilled about what I've heard about the 7 who were selected. They seem to be inclined much more toward anti-Trump attitudes than pro-Trump attitudes. But again, I can't second best the lawyers because I don't know what their options were.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough to get a neutral jury in a place like New York City. You know that better than most, Alan. Is it a good thing to have lawyers impaneled on a jury, Professor?
In a case like this, perhaps. This case is so weak that any lawyer looking at it would laugh. Now, they're going to be told by the judge, you have no interest in deciding whether this is legally permissible or not. You're only judges of the fact. But lawyers will be able to see through this. This is a made-up case. There's no basis for bringing this case at all.
Can I just ask you, do you think, is there a chance that Trump could win this case? I haven't heard that conversation happen anywhere. You know, we talk about a hung jury, an acquittal. Is there a chance that Trump could actually win this case? And the implications politically, we'll talk about that with our next guest, Sebastian Gorka, who's standing by. But legally, do you think just on the merits, 12 jurors could find Trump not guilty or innocent or however it works?
Well, they should. And if this were tried in Rockland County, they would. But you're going to get at least 1 or 2 jurors, I think, that are so anti-Trump that will do anything. Look, New Yorkers, these are the people who won't talk to me because I defended Trump, even though, you know, I haven't decided who I'm voting for. I just want there to be a fair election. What I care about deeply is not having an election that's marred by the weaponization of the criminal justice system. There's no reason for Trump to be kept out of the courtroom, in the courtroom, locked up in the courtroom. Under the law of New York, he should be able to make a motion to leave on any day and campaign. But I don't know whether he can get a fair trial. I think there's a possibility of a hung jury. The possibility of 12 jurors voting to acquit is, I think, very, very minimal. Anything's possible when you have a jury trial. And this is such a weak case that the 2 lawyers on the jury might be able to persuade the 10 others. Look, you can't convict in this case. What a precedent it would set. It would mean the prosecution could just make up cases against you and your relatives or anybody they don't like.
Right.
This is such an abuse of due process, such an abuse of the rule of law that maybe 12 jurors will see through it.